because some of these other people, these other nations, are talking about black people and talking about how we don't want to take responsibility for other black people and the things that they're doing. And it's funny, we're going to talk about responsibility right now. You guys have the nerve to talk about how black people are not taking responsibility and how, you know, a black person can't even check other black people. Before you can even begin to check so-called black people, you're going to have to check white people, all immigrants, and many black people. So again, we're going to talk real quick about taking accountability. But I'm going to play a little Father Indigo. All right, big dog right now. But it's funny because some Trump supporter dude came on my TikTok, and he was just pretty much putting Anton Daniels, you know, black people who pretty much, you know, are white acting. You know what I'm saying? And people who, you know, say the things that white people want to say. And he keeps putting them out there. I'm like, I don't care what other black people say. We're not a monolith. Black people aren't all the same. Just because you can find one or two or three or four or five or many black people that say what you want to hear about other black people doesn't mean anything. Because the vast majority of black people have sold out to the system. If you see a person that's got all this following and all these views and, you know, has got all these businesses and everything else, trust me, that dude is all about this system. Many women, same thing. And all you white people want to do is go and run to them and use them to make your point. But again, before we talk about us having a responsibility, what about the responsibility of the white people who came over here in 1492 and raped, robbed, murdered, and stole everything? If we're going to take responsibility and we're going to make black people a monolith, then we're going to make white people a monolith too. Because you want to say, oh, that wasn't us. Yeah, it was you. Because you seem to think that all black people are all the same and that we're a monolith. So if you can find one or two, then all of a sudden you that's all black people. Well, that's fine, and we'll do that for white people. No problem. Because when we start talking about taking responsibility, your people haven't even begun to take responsibility for anything that you've done. And all the immigrants, you're going to take responsibility for coming over here and stealing our reparations. How come we don't talk about that? Talking about taking responsibility. So let's play a little Big Dog before we start. Talking about taking responsibility. Okay, we're gonna do that right now. People done rape, rob, murder, and stole everything and haven't even admitted to their sins. Talking about us taking responsibility. Okay. Most High about to make you take responsibility for everything your people have done. Double. All the immigrants too. Stealing all of our stuff. Stealing all of our reparations. Talking about taking responsibility. You did nothing to deserve what you've gotten. You can't even back up anything that you say today. You can't take responsibility for anything you've taught in your churches. Talking about taking responsibility. Take responsibility for all the little boys and girls you've raped.
They go box it out for patience. Cooking pizza, having aprons. Angelic in my cadence. These causes separations. Sounding like moving blatant. Rest God been waiting. Initiating stations. Pyramids, rising vibrations. Open up your heart to my love right now. Call too late, time to bring my crown. Don't believe it's water, non-believers must drown. Don't need a Bentley, cause my tribe was bound. Been hated on since the king touched down. Everything you owe us, you must bring us now. Found Christ, no TDJs. Only coon can't see a face. Our DNA can't create a race. White Jesus, we replace. With V, can't eat a steak. With my people, hey. This ain't planning. Hey. Must get done on. Aboriginal. Swedish royalty. Celestial.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get started right now, family. Let me get this first video real quick because I want you to see, you guys think you're slick. You guys don't even take responsibility for anything that you guys have done, because the people, when a so-called black man calls you out on all your BS, on all your fake ass history, what do? Do you ever stand up and say, hey, let me take responsibility for lying to you about everything? Nah, they don't say anything. What do? Keep quiet. What do? Mess with your views. What do? Not send out notifications. Any of that. Report the comments, right, Brother Sly? All the time. But you're going to talk about other people taking responsibility? See, even over here, like on TikTok, I did a video earlier, and I put it up on YouTube, but TikTok refused to even give out notifications that I even made a video. They force you to have to go to the channel and look for the video to find it. What's up with you guys taking responsibility and actually let someone else talk and give another opinion about what you say is history? Oh, but you can't take that though, because of course you can't take responsibility, because if someone checks you, there's nothing you can say. So but you want to talk about other people taking responsibility. So it was this clown, Sir Ski, mentioned you in a comment. So he's giving me comments. And of course, see, when you tell them about what white people have done, well, not all white people, but they don't afford that same type of thinking to other groups, especially so-called black people. Look, if a black person wants to believe the bullshit you say, we don't want them. We don't want them. I'm not any kind of delusional state to think that all black people are going to agree with me. All black people didn't believe in Yahushua when he was here. Many of the so-called black people were his enemies. So I have no beliefs that all black people are going to agree. But I'm going to play a little bit of this woman's video here.
So who can tell the black community anything? Apparently, not even black people can tell the black community anything. If it's a black person like myself, which you can see I'm really black, and this is all my natural hair, this big fat afro here, so I'm blackity black, okay? But yet and still, even I can't tell the black community anything. Why? Why? Because it's too much like accountability. And when I say the black community, I'm talking about those black people over there that's acting really egregious, acting plum D fools on Carnival Cruises, going into malls, smashing and grabbing and running, unaliving 7-year-old black kids for the sake of being part of a black gang.
So, unaliving 7-year-olds. I guess white people didn't do that. White people didn't come over here and unalive children, old people for thousands of years. But we're going to talk again about what so-called black people are doing today. We're not going to talk about the cops that just kill our people left and right and never have to pay about it, pay for any of that. That's not taking responsibility. Any of that. Talking about running and smashing and grabbing. Oh, I'm sorry. Did not white people come in and smash and grab countries? So you talking about black people smashing and grabbing some jewelry. What about smashing and grabbing countries? How about cutting off people's hands when they didn't get enough gold for the year? Cutting off children's arms and hands when they didn't get enough gold for the year for these so-called Europeans. Oh, but you're going to just give them a pass and whatever else because, you know, they just don't talk about that. So again, white people don't act a fool, haven't been acting a fool and acting all crazy. You see, you can find someone that's going to come out here and talk about responsibility. These people have never, ever paid for any of this stuff. In fact, you go over there to South Africa, and if you even talk about them having to take responsibility, that's called genocide. They say, oh, white people are being genocided. They're stealing their lands, for their farms from them. But you're going to talk about black people needing to be responsible while white people and all these other immigrants have never been responsible. Yeah, you ain't getting out of this either, immigrants, because you guys came over here and you stole our reparations because you did nothing to deserve any of the programs that you received when you got here. The government wasn't trying to make a wrong right with you people because they never wronged you in the first place. This country never wronged you Eastern Europeans. They never wronged you people in Latin America. They never wronged the Asians. They never wronged the East Indians. They never wronged the Hamites. But for some reason, this country wants to give all this money to everybody else but us. They never wronged Ish. But they're giving them billions of dollars every month. So the people you're supposed to be taking responsibility to make things right with, you never have. So again, you want to talk about taking responsibility? Let's continue.
Less than 5 miles away from me, in another town called Pine Bluff, Arkansas, black kid is on the porch. Just got off from school, he's on the porch. Group of black kids pass by and brow. He gone, just out of here. A black.
White people didn't do that. White people just run into your town and just shoot up whoever they wanted. Then, hey, that's a pretty little girl right there. I'm gonna go and take her and do whatever I want with her and kill her. Where's all the responsibility of people taking care of that? Making those wrongs right. So again, before you talk about what our people are doing, let's go ahead and talk about what all other groups are responsible for. It is totally getting absolutely ridiculous listening to these people just ignore everything that all these other nations have been doing and continue to do, and seem to think that, I don't know, yes, we got people that are acting a fool, but again, who actually got a lot of this situation like this? Who's the one that got the men out of the house? Who was the one that were putting a bunch of our men in jail, and tearing up families and not giving our men or our little girls or little boys a man in the house to teach them direction? We didn't get in that situation on our own. Yeah, it was the government, but it's also every individual who was allowed to do all these heinous things to our people and never have to pay. You other nations got the chance to do all these horrible things to ourselves, to our people, and then never have to pay for it. And then those men who were doing those horrible things got to stay and still be a husband and a father in those households. So let's play a little bit more.
Councilwoman goes home for the day only to be met by a criminal with a gun who's holding her up wanting to take her purse in her neighborhood. A black criminal. Then we got black women all up in these restaurants cursing and fighting one another. Then we got the black people. Well, you just can't talk about the black people. You have to talk about the white people too. I don't have to talk about nothing. If a white person is doing something, then I'll talk about it. See, I'm fair when I talk.
So white people ain't doing nothing, right? They're not doing anything. But if a white person talks about it, I'll talk about it. But last time I checked, they talk about us being on welfare. I think they just saw the statistics that 76% of the people on welfare are white. They're the ones sucking up all these resources. But they shove us out there as somehow the ones that are getting into doing all this stuff. So it just shows you again, they want to use the Blassels all the way into this. And I'm like, you can have her. We don't want her. She's playing for the other team. See, these white people, they don't go and knock over liquor stores. They go over and knock over countries and steal resources from countries. They don't do the menial stuff that our people get to go to jail for. They do big things where they say, oh, well, there's so many people, it's a bank, so there's no one really we can go after. And they're stealing billions of dollars. That's how it always is with them. They'll steal stuff, but it's it's behind a corporation or some kind of a business so that no one can actually go after the individuals. Exactly. She looks like us, but she ain't us. But see, that's again, oh, I'm blackity black. Look at my afro. That don't mean nothing. That doesn't mean anything at all. I'm gonna play a little bit more, but it's about right here. That's about it. That's about what we're hearing. Yeah, want.
I talk about white, black, Asian, Hispanic. I talk about whomever I want to talk about. But lately, I've been on the heel of talking about bad behavior in the black community, and nobody wants to take accountability for nothing without comparing and contrasting to white people.
First of all, we can't even compare what we're doing to what they've done. We can't even compare. It is not even a comparison. What you act like so-called colonizers did not just go into our towns and just act a damn fool. Black Wall Street. Did they do anything? That's what they just did in 1 or 2 days. That's what they did in 1 or 2 days. They went in and bombed cities, killed people, raped, robbed, murdered, and destroyed things. And they did it so well that they didn't even let people put it in history books or talk about it until everybody else died. 70 years later, that's when their stuff comes out, when everybody's dead. That's gangsta shit right there. But you're going to talk about someone coming in and saying some bad words when they walk in. You see how absolutely ridiculous this sounds? Just because you guys hide all your dirt for decades and whatever else, and then we bring it, then it gets brought out, and then you want to say, oh, that was a long time ago. Oh, but all those men that were responsible for killing all the people at Black Wall Street, not one person went to jail. All their families still intact. They were still around to bring up their children. They were still had a father figure in the house. The woman who started that whole thing said she lied about it. And again, what did she do? Did she have to pay for anything? Was she taken away from her household? Was she taken away from her children? No. Not at all. Stole all those resources from Black Wall Street and many other towns. So wait a few decades. I'm sure they did many other horrible things over those course of those decades, right? And then want to say like, oh, don't bring up that. That was a long time ago. Yes, a long time ago that you never paid for. A long time that you never had to pay for. Play a little bit more because her voice is annoying me.
My grandma used to have a saying, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around somebody else's front door. White people know there are problems in their community, but most of them are not out there making excuses for the behavior like you're doing. So
they don't make excuses for their behavior? Oh, when they shoot one of our people down, well, what was he doing? Well, we need to do an investigation. We need to invest ourselves to make sure that everything was on the up and up. Oh, we found ourselves not guilty. So white people ain't making excuses? Oh, that was a long time ago. We don't got to pay. That's not an excuse? You see what I'm saying? Like, they make excuses all the time. Oh, I mean, I accidentally raped that little child. Oh, pontifical secret. That's not hiding responsibility. Pontifical secret. Oh yeah, well, him, raping that little boy, that is top secret for the Catholic Church. Sweep around your own porch before you sweep around someone else's. That's all that they do. All they do is sweep around our porch. They never sweep around their own porches. They never talk about taking responsibility for what they do. When have you seen the colonizers take responsibility and sweep around their own porch? Never have they taken responsibility for what they've done. Never have they swept around their own porch. You know what? That's why we got the whole thing about Karens, right? Karens, Chads, whatever, coming around our neighborhoods and sweeping around our porch when they've never taken any responsibility for what they've done. Brad's exactly right. I'm gonna go back just a little bit. That's that whole thing. Like again, oh, you guys, sweep around your own porch before you sweep around somebody else's. What are they doing? They have never taken responsibility for anything. But put up a black woman up here, let her just run her mouth, and then say whatever she wants to say because she's gonna say whatever it is that the white man wants to say. This is why I don't believe in the whole BS about everybody has, you're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. Or respect your elders. What elders are we talking about? Because the vast majority of the elders that are around us have been racist ass people. They have been complicit with our destruction. But you know what? They've been complicit with your destruction too, Gentiles. Because they were able to they were going out of their way to be racist and to set up all these policies. They were the ones that ran this debt up to where it is today. You guys are talking about the $36 trillion. That's mostly started in the 70s until now, when they got off the gold standard. So these old people, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, they were around and they were the ones that ran this whole country into the ground. And haven't taken responsibility for running this place into the ground. Right? So if that's the case, then when you tell me to respect my elders, I'm like, respect who? the ones that ran this place into the ground, who've stolen everything, and now gotten to a point where the country, your country here, is a wrap. It is done. So let me just go back just a little bit because I can only handle her voice for a little while. That's it.
Problems in their community. But most of them are not out there making excuses for the behavior like you're doing. Some of y'all don't want us to talk about nothing. Y'all don't want to call attention to anything that is toxic in the toxic community and culture. And then a lot of you black women, a lot of you, not all of you, get up on here and talk about white women wearing braids and all that, but then you got a full-fledged Brazilian wig and it happens to be blonde. It sounds stupid. What are you upset about? People could wear whatever they want to wear. You think I care if a white woman put on an afro or got braids in her hair? I could care less. And I don't want her to care about me putting on a wig if I want to put on a wig. Not making a big deal about everything. But we own this. You don't own nothing. Do you have a patent on it? Are you getting paid for it?
We don't own anything. Why is that? Why exactly do we not own anything? Oh, because they stole everything. Enough. They stole all the patents. You hear? I mean, just again. This is it, right? This is what because some guy was trying to share these videos. Oh, you know how this is gonna go.
Shut up! Then you get mad when people talk about black fatigue. Hell, I'm tired. I'm tired of the black people over there causing issues for the black.
Hold on, family. Hold on, family. Give me a quick second here. Okay. So for some reason, you know, this dude wants to keep on putting out all these kind of people on. Oh, well, look at this video. I'm gonna tag you into this video. I'm like, bruh. Again, you're talking about blassels. That's what these people don't get anymore. We don't care about blassels. We don't want them. We're not fighting. We're done fighting for people who want to be on your team. We're not on their team. They're not on our team. They're with you. So the ridiculous stuff she's talking about, hey, she represents you.
People over here, we over here trying to live our best life. And then you got your black women coming on here talking about white acceptance, white obedience. It's black people like you that would have kept us slaves and on the plantation and unable to read. You sound dumb. You're just mad because you want to be mad. Black women like me can't tell you nothing because you don't want to be set free from that victim oppressed mentality. Then some of y'all got to lead with your education. If you have to lead with your education, that means you don't have much, baby. You know how easy it is to get a bachelor's degree nowadays? They're practically giving them away in the bubblegum machines.
So that was enough of that. But as you can see, these people talking about responsibility. I've been talking about the immigrants and how you guys have came over here and you guys got our reparations. There were things that were promised to us that you got that you didn't deserve. And I haven't seen one person try to debunk that. Haven't seen one person try to debunk that. Just talking about victim mentality. We know victims. We're just telling you facts. We're telling you history. It's not when we tell you about the things that your people have done and what you're going to have to pay for, how is that being a victim? We're just telling you how it is. And plus, we were not victims because you were so smart. We're victims because the Most High set it up that way. He used you to chastise us so that we could learn our lesson and come back to the Most High. But the thing is, with you guys, the other nations and the blassels and vassals, He didn't let you guys get chastised. He just let you build up. We got different types of punishment going on here now. We have been chastised enough and been called back home. You have been just building up, and you built up all the way to the heavens. So I'm not upset at all. I said, I thank the Most High that he only punished me to the point where he wanted to chastise me. I love the fact, thank you, Most High. Thank you, Father, for chastising us to the point that we learn our lesson and can come back to you. You don't have that option. Right, Miss Abby? You guys are building up to total destruction. So I thank the Father for making sure that thank you, Father. For yes, it was a horrible chastisement, but thank you. I learned my lesson. Still learning my lesson, because now I'm seeing the depths of this, of Psalms 83 and the things that they've done to be able to understand. They get to enjoy their voluptuousness. You guys got your opportunity to enjoy your voluptuousness. Now it's time to pay. And just because you I'm gonna say, hold on, the other idiot. Let me just show you just the kind of stuff that they do now. They don't actually. How is this person who actually shared this video taking responsibility for any of his actions? He's not. All he's doing is he was just giving me video after video of some sellout or about some black person breaking into somebody's house and getting shot. Okay. Hey, we pay for our sins. When we break into people's houses, we pay for those. If he got shot by breaking into somebody's house, okay, cool. That's called justice. You're right. If someone broke a law and they got caught by the cops, okay, justice. Where's your justice, though? We pay instantly, exactly. Where is the white man's justice for what he's done for the last 600, 700 years? Where's his justice? When a cop breaks the rules and shoots down one of our people, where's that justice? When immigrants come and steal our resources, when they get the reparations promised to us, when they get the benefits promised to us, and they don't deserve those, where's our justice? When are they going to pay us back for the things they received that they should not have gotten? Where's that justice? Right, Malcolm? No outrage for poisoning the waters, poisoning food. Where's their time of having to pay?
We don't want to hear about your how many baby daddies you got at home.
And we don't want to hear about how many dogs you have. Your dog. And then on top, let me finish.
No. See, now the real. No. Hold on. See, the real you is coming.
No, this.
See, boy, Anton. I could care less. He's already with the blastles. Go knock yourself out. We don't care. See, and that's it. T of Yah. They are ashamed of their history. They don't even want to teach it. They don't even have a discussion about their history. So you talk about taking responsibility. I'm here. I talk about your guys' history all the time. I bring books out all the time. But again, why don't you guys come out and defend your history? If you're talking about taking responsibility, you won't even admit your history. Why don't you talk about your history? Why don't you talk about who was here before Columbus got here? Why don't you talk about who were the original natives, the original aboriginal or original people here on the lands? You keep talking again about taking responsibility. Oh, black people ain't taking responsibility. Yes, we are. We're paying when we get locked up for these same crimes that your people do, we get locked up, you get a slap on the wrist. How is that you guys take responsibility? When taking responsibility is, oh, we're going to use the money you gave us for tithes and offerings, and we're going to pay $750 to $1.5 billion for all of these children in one diocese that were raped. Can we find out who the priests are? Can we get the names of the priests so they can go to jail? No. Why not? Pontifical secret. So how is that, again, taking responsibility for your actions? Yep, Trump pardoning people. Oh boy, last president, Biden pardoning his son. So again, you want to talk about us taking responsibility, but you guys never have. How does that work out exactly? How is that the truth? How does that work out exactly? Book burners, exactly. Have not admitted any guilt whatsoever. All that money you guys gave to the Ukraine, but you couldn't give us anything. And you guys have never taken responsibility. So I like that. Sweep around your own porch, you go and sweep around someone else's, when that's exactly what the colonizers have been doing every day. They never, they don't come over to my neighborhood and do this. Why do they have to? The neighborhood you live in is a neighborhood they set up for you. The neighborhood you live in, they don't want to be around. That's why they set up all the FHA loans and they white flighted and got all of the perks to go buy multiple homes while your ass was stuck in the inner city somewhere and couldn't get a loan for anything. So again, they know this truth. That's why none of them come against it. So again, these people who have been receiving all these perks are not talking about how they got the perks. Like, look, Gentiles, like Psalms 83, that goes for the people at the top, the middle, and the bottom. Your forefathers lied to you. They lied to you. They told you, oh, America is such a great country, and they're welcoming us in open arms, and they're giving us all these, they're making it so we can you can chase after our American dream. They didn't tell you. Your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents didn't tell you that all of this money and these opportunities comes with strings. Comes with strings. And the strings that are attached aren't strings that connect to the colonizers. The strings that were attached to the money and the things that you received are attached to me. They're attached to me and my people. They're attached to me, my people, and my power. So the repayment of the things that your families have received won't be delegated by the colonizers. Those strings that are attached to that money and those opportunities that you stole from me, you're going to have to pay to me. You're going to have to pay the way my power tells you you're going to have to pay. You're not going to be able to cleave however you want. We're not going to stand hand in hand, kumbayaing. We're not going to be equal in the next kingdom. None of that. That is not what the Bible says. That's why you get Bibles that are New Testament only, because those strings that are attached are explained to you in the Old Testament. Yeah, they're in the New Testament too, but they're very clear in the Old Testament. There is no Old Testament. There is just the Testament. Old and new is just made up by your churches. So you're not gonna be these strings that you got. Hey, we came over here. We got this. We got that. Yeah, fuck you niggers. Yeah, you guys just don't want to work hard. We want to work hard. So the white man's being really good to us. You Negroes, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to work hard. Look at us. Hey, we'll work hard for you, massa. We'll do everything you want us to say. Yeah. So hold on.
I sit up here and work at this job in a warehouse. I'm a receiving clerk or whatever.
You guys, that's what you guys have been doing to our people this whole time. Getting all of our, you've been getting all of our benefits, and then they're totally racist to us. And so long as the white man told you, hey, you just make sure that you hate those Negroes. You just make sure you hate those black people. Okay. But now you're going to have to pay us back. And that's like Donald, who has worked harder than us? Just like this morning we did the live, and someone, oh, you don't know what happened to the Japanese people. Oh, you mean the ones that got put in camps? But then at the end, they were given reparations and restitution? They were given justice? You mean those Chinese and Japanese people? The ones that have been given loans and opportunities to set up businesses in my neighborhood? Those ones? You talking about those ones? You can talk to me when they've worked for free for hundreds of years. Then you can talk to me about how hard it was on the Japanese, right? Or the Irish. Oh, Irish, they were sold. Those were the Irish were sold just like you. No, they weren't. So forget it. Showing when they were enslaved for 400 plus years. So now you're going to have to go ahead, go read Jeremiah 30:16. It tells you what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But see, again, talk about crying. Nobody's crying. The only people who are going to be crying is going to be you. That's the whole thing with these people. It's hilarious. Only people that are going to be crying are you. We're not crying. We already paid. That's the thing. It's whole hilarious. We've paid for our sins. We paid already for our sins. We aren't crying anymore. You guys are now beginning to pay. And it's funny because I'm looking all over social media, and who are the people that are crying all the time? The ones that sold out to the system. The ones who have not been paying. All of a sudden now, people are crying. They can't find jobs. They're losing jobs left and right. They can't get health care. This wasn't what they signed up for. They're losing their farms. The financial system is in ruins. The bond market's all over the place. The dollar's losing the value. How are we gonna continue with this? How are we gonna, buy gold, buy silver, buy Bitcoin? That's gonna save you. Sounds like you guys are the ones who are. I don't hear anybody like, hey man, the future looks bright. The future looks great. They're all saying the exact opposite. So again, when you're talking about me crying, I'm not crying. I'm here smiling, got my popcorn ready, and just watching and loving everything that I'm seeing, because you know why? It's proven that my father was correct. The things he says in the scriptures are right. He's turned his face back to me. Why would I be crying right now when the Most High turned his face away from me for a moment, but now he's turned his beautiful face back to me? Which means now he's turned his face away from you. So how is that exactly that I'm crying? When he says exactly, I will laugh at your calamity. Yeah, he already laughed at my calamity. It's done. Now he's laughing at yours. Exactly. Can't even procreate. Can't even have kids anymore. Y'all did something a few years ago to yourselves that's made it so you guys can't even have kids barely anymore. And if they are, they're coming out with a whole bunch of issues. We all know what it was. But a lot of people took some stuff that has messed with being able to procreate, have kids, which is already showing you that you going forward is a wrap. Hold on real quick. And it's just funny, all these different people all of a sudden want to be black. I like this other video, it's pretty hilarious, about the Asians are black now. Which, hey, you know, some of the Cambodians and whatever else, yeah, they got some black tendencies and whatever else. You know, they're poor, yes, I get it. And if the Most High wants certain people, he will make sure that he awakens them. But it is funny though, all these video of people wanting to be black. Hold on right here.
Asians are black people. Asians are black people, especially Laotians, Cambodians, and sometimes Indonesians.
These bitches, they just wanna have my baby. Born in that.
Hey, this what we eat in a day. But I just like.
Hopefully, Southeast Asia.
Hey, this nigga give a fuck. He gonna go right back in the world. You gonna Thailand back. Well, you clean up. We ain't doing no clean up. Nigga, they can jail me to help. Me and my niggas, we got this. We call it Chinese girl. We call good Thai girl. Clean up the pocket. Don't ask me clean up here, nigga.
You see how that is? It's like hilarious because, hey, we all want black people to come over there and be passport bros before? No, it was always all these old white dudes going over there and hooking up with y'all. But all of a sudden now it's like, oh no, we want the brothers to come over here now. We want the brothers to come over here and do this, and that. You see what I'm saying? Like it's hilarious because it's all over the place now. This was hilarious. This white, I'm just gonna play it.
What the hell y'all cook for dinner?
Preston, stop talking like that.
You raised better than that. Why y'all tripping like that? Y'all
Stop. That's enough. That is enough.
Oh, come on now. Hey. What the hell y'all cook for dinner?
Preston, stop talking like that.
You raised better than that. Why y'all tripping like that?
Stop. That's enough. That is enough.
Oh, come on now. Hey. What the hell y'all cook?
Oh my God. It's hilarious because, like I said, that's what's going on. And hey, it's only going to get worse. There's going to be more and more people. They're going to be looking to actually be black, be part of the black experience. I didn't even know this about us not even able to own dogs before.
In parts of Jim Crow, Mississippi, black families couldn't even own dogs because white people feared what that symbol meant. Black dog ownership was often seen as a threat, especially in rural Mississippi. Some counties banned black residents from owning large dogs. Others made them register them, pay heavy fees, or risk arrest. Why? Because owning a dog symbolized independence, protection, and pride. And white authorities didn't want black people to have any of it. Even pets were policed under Jim Crow. Follow for more wild truth.
Now again, that goes back to also dogs of the conquest. And that's what they brought those dogs over here, and those dogs were destroying our people. But again, did y'all know about that? You're talking about, us not taking responsibility. How about how much they just policed our people and we couldn't own weapons to protect ourselves, couldn't have dogs to protect ourselves, so that we could not do anything against, if they wanted to do stuff to us, they could do whatever they wanted and we had no protections. If they wanted to do stuff to our women, to our children, to our daughters, we had no way of protecting ourselves. So we couldn't have guns, couldn't have weapons, couldn't have dogs. Police us to death. But again, where are you, all you people talking about those responsibilities? Where's that black woman talking about that stuff? You see?
the issue of birthright.
But what's killing them is, like, again, this birthright citizenship, everything is killing them right now. Again, when are you guys going to take responsibility for the fact that in 1866 there was a civil rights for our people to not be treated a certain way, to actually have equal rights, and for 103 years later, they allowed them to discriminate against us over lands and homes and being able to buy property. They passed laws, but there was no law to enforce it. So therefore, they were able to steal all of our land, our identity, and everything else, and give it to everybody else who wanted to come over here. Where's all the responsibility for all the people that received our reparations and gave our reparations to them? Where's all that? Definitely still redlining, gentrification, everything. Making rules and breaking them too, exactly.
Citizenship. And now, 22 states are suing to block Republicans from overturning this deeply flawed policy. Let me tell you, the policy is so deeply flawed. If you've read the 14th Amendment, if you remember the time frame that took place in, I'll give you all a math.
13th Amendment.
14th Amendment. Can any of y'all tell me which amendment preceded the 14th Amendment?
13th Amendment.
Math majors out there, of course.
Abolishing slavery.
Amendment, which abolished slavery. The intent of our founders and our members of Congress back then was to make sure that African Americans got a place in America. Now, I've talked to judges, some of them in Congress that said, well, no, birthright citizenship is.
So again, they wanted it for black people, slaves, to actually have a place in society. But what do? They gave that place to everybody else. And when I was watching another video, it said that the Native Americans didn't even get citizenship until 1924. So all this stuff that's being talked about had nothing to do with them, because they didn't get birthright citizenship until when? 1924. So 60 years before that, when you're talking about Native Americans and treaties and stuff like that, it's talking about us. It's not talking about them. It's not talking about the pretendians. Gave all our stuff to everybody else.
Citizenship is part of the 14th Amendment. I said, look, just because some court has interpreted that doesn't make it right, doesn't make it law. The courts and the judges get it wrong. Supreme Court gets it wrong all the time. They actually ruled that African Americans could be counted as 3/5 of a citizen.
Indigenous.
Census records, right?
Aboriginal.
They also ruled that Negroes can use separate equal bathrooms. I think it was Brown versus Board of Education to address the issue of birthright.
Again, so I mean, they're sitting here showing you how from the 1860s to the 1960s, there were all these things that we were supposed to have received, and we didn't. And they gave it to everyone else. People that were here, pretendians. People that were coming from down south in other countries, right? People coming from the islands, right? And people who were coming from Europe, right? People who were coming from Asia, right? Everybody was coming over here and getting all the stuff that was promised to us in the 13th, 14th Amendments, and so forth. So you talk about taking responsibility, like the old girl was talking about earlier, us not taking responsibility. How come these people haven't been taking responsibility for any of this? People who gave them all this and received all of the benefits that were promised to us. And then want to fix their lips to say, you black people don't deserve reparations. You guys want handouts. You guys want stuff for free. I'm sorry. What exactly have you been getting for the last couple hundred years? Oh, handouts. Oh, stuff for free. Oh, stuff you don't deserve. See how ridiculous this looks now? Welfare. Now you've seen how ridiculous all of this seems now. So the camps had us concentrate on just the white man, Esau, 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 while all these other people for the last 100+ years have been receiving all of our benefits. And then trying to get us to accept those people who've gotten our benefits, who've been receiving our reparations, tell them to come on in and you're Israel too. Now you see why they won't even touch myself or my channel or my information. They won't even, oh, Big Judah says something about us? Yeah, act like you didn't hear it. Big Judah's talking about that 12 tribes chart? Yeah, we attack anybody that talks about the 12 tribes chart. Oh, Big Judah said it? Oh yeah, don't talk about him. Don't talk to him. Don't say anything to him. When he's talking about Revelation 6 and 8, tell them, hey, prove me wrong. This I'm talking about 1492. Hey, just act like you don't hear him. Just act like you don't hear him. 2nd Ezra 14, talking about other books. After one book or some book or one book given to everybody, there's going to be other books. Yeah, don't explain that. Don't talk about that. Where are your elders? Where are your elders to break all this down? Where's Pastor Mitchell to break all this down? Where are all your pastors? Where's Perry Stone to break all these things down? Where's Perry Stone and all of them to say, yeah, man, explain to me why the Apocrypha isn't in your Bible. Explain to me how we're going to lose our heritage in Jeremiah 17 and 4, but then in Baruch 2 and 30, it says we're going to wake up in the lands of our captivities. Please explain how that works out. Couldn't get an FHA loan, even the 790 credit score. Couldn't get any loans. Yep. Stuff is still going on today. So again, just showing you how much of the clowns these people are. We're high on the Most High, buddy. That's what we're on. That's what we're high on. High on the truth over here. We are high on the truth. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? We don't need all the other stuff. We got the Most High who's bringing us joy and happiness. And as you can see, they have no joy. They have no happiness. Wouldn't want to be any of Psalms 83 whatsoever. And that's it, Miss Abby. These people are crashing out because we've turned back to our Father, the Most High. Exactly. So that's why you have the trolls that come in and just run their mouths and whatever else. And again, you guys stopping the numbers and holding numbers down doesn't mean anything. Because truth is here. And if you took responsibility for your actions and actually had a truthful conversation about your history, that they don't want to do that. It's funny how they'll get one person who all of a sudden his channel will blow up and he's like, oh, you know, talking about white people. The guy who got this little microphone and he's talking about history. I was like, why do we don't need you to be talking about their history or agreeing with the things that we say. We've been saying it. We don't need a white face to say what we say. We say it ourselves. We don't need your validation. We don't need your validation on anything anymore. Again, you're not invited to the cookout just because you come in 2025 and all of a sudden regurgitate things we've been saying. You still ain't coming to the cookout. You still ain't coming over here. You can cleave the right way, but you thinking that you're telling me something I don't know when it's in our DNA. But this is why you're in the situation you're in, because the Most High has turned his face back to Israel. Isaiah 14:1. Read it. But I'm going to have to let you guys go, family. It was great hanging out with everybody. Much love, family. Shalom.